Hi guys, I wanted to cover a very important topic that I believe needs to be addressed so that we can move on to real things. And one of the things that I believe is very important is this fraud called alkaline versus acidic. So as I was researching, it became very clear to me that this is a scam on the level of fake moon landing, and they subtly introduced this mechanism into mostly into alternative health community, conspiracy and truth movement, and now most of the mainstream. Society has also adopted this alkaline food versus acidic food, which I believe is a total complete scam perpetuated on humanity to make us further sick and take us away from the what really is happening inside our bodies. So there is a very broader perspective that they are denying us of our own bodies, and when you do research you are put off by their complicated words. So they are deliberately making sure that a non medical student who wants to do research and connect the dots will never enter their sacred garden of fraud. So most of the medical terminology that you read in this biological science is a deliberate attempt to make us not go on further and find out their fraud. So this alkaline versus acidic scam, I think it's very well laid out. They show some green fruits and some GMO foods, etc. That is well and good, and then they tell us how drinking coffee is acidic, and why you should drink alkaline water, why you should have more green vegetables, while most of the vegetables are pesticides and GMO, etc. So that is actually the real premise of it, not the food, because foods are actually, they don't mean anything once they go inside the body, because gut bacteria is the key. They can take anything and convert whatever it is you are lacking in your body. So they have mostly killed our gut bacteria through vaccinations and antibiotics. So that is actually the key, not the alkaline versus acidic body, because if you go deeper you need acid, guide. Acid is the key to liberate humanity, not alkaline. Alkaline does nothing. If your body is alkaline, as a premise, as they are saying, what if you eat banana, it will come out as banana. And they are telling us that pH should be 7.40, 7.30. This is a complete total fraud, guys. This is one of the biggest fraud that is killing humanity slowly, because most of the human beings already have an alkaline body. If your blood type is A and O, you are alkaline, and if your blood group is B, you are acidic. So 80% of humanity is already alkaline with blood type A and O. So most of the people in western countries who are taking alkaline food is dangerously close to termination, because your body already has a high level of alkalinity. So, and this premise, acid versus alkaline is not as simple as they show you through pH. This is a total complete fraud, guys. I will come to it, you will understand it. Acid is the key. Acid will literally liberate humanity. That is the reason the bacteria only produce acid, from lactic acid, etc. Some bacteria do alkaline, but I have not found any concrete evidence of that. But 99% of all the bacteria produce acid for a reason, because acid is the thing that dissolves. If you eat banana, it dissolves, it breaks down things and converts it into energy. And this thing is nothing but this guys fake moon landing. They created an entire paradigm, entire story around medical industry. Entire medical industry, the more I researched, the more I found that it is nothing but the premise of how they created the fake moon landing. They have created an elaborate scam, guys. That is what, once you go deeper you will understand. It is completely based on plausible deniability and fraud, outright fraud. uh, like how they created a story around moon landing. There was tragedy, there was winning moments. There was a loser, there was a winner. They couldn't do it, then finally they had a hero who achieved it. That is exactly the storyline they play in medical industry. So that is nothing but the entire mafia running the show. Those who created this fake moon landing are the ones who created this. We just need to connect the dot. We can find out their signature all over the world, and they use the most complicated words in medicine. You will not find any other place than in biochemistry and microbiology. Which is actually is the key where our secret to humanity's freedom lies. If you are looking into non-new age stuff, new age thing like you are a higher soul, you are angelic, that needs to be combined with your body, guys. Then only the most beautiful things can come. We need to combine the knowledge what we learned in new age, what we learned in spirituality, to what actual science is, and to to go deeper, they have made sure that you get put off by these kind of terminology. I'm sure you might have come across most of these words like colitis, hematomegaly, nephrosis, oprorectomy, hysterectomy, hysterocephalogram, dermatitis, mammography, electrocardiogram. This is a deliberate attempt. This is a play on semantics. This terminology they are creating deliberately so that you never go deeper. You think that, oh, this is for a smart guy, a genius. A doctor must be a genius to memorize all these. This industry, this medicine field is so complicated. This is not for me. This is a psyop. So do not fall for. You can just skip all these complicated words. Then it will be much clear that it is all based on their premise called could be, might be, maybe. They always play on semantics, and they will never tell you that it is related, it is 100% true. As I showed in my last video regarding diabetes, how they were playing around with words on how diabetes could be related to your gut bacteria, how gut bacteria might be the cure for your diabetes. So they are playing on the middle ground so that they can make this, as I showed in my last video, $1.3 trillion is their production. In first time in their history, they will be making $1.3 trillion, So that is what their projected sales is for 2018. So they are very sure that this thing doesn't work, If it works, the sale should have come down. The universities, the people, the people joining for doctorate, it should all come down. It will never come down because people who are applying for medicine, people who are studying for medicine, the pharmaceutical companies, everybody is recruiting and making billions because they are 100% certain the fraud is working. As I showed in my few videos back, vitamins are itself acidic, ascorbic acid, vitamin C. They have made up a new industry itself called vitamins, which does absolutely nothing. I have not found anything since last 1 week. I am researching, and vitamins do absolutely nothing in the human body. The entire premise, carbohydrate, protein, acid, it is all what we have right now. So I am playing around with that, but we could have a much better, biology, like human biology to play with, but they have not allowed us to go. But we don't need it. We can find out what really is the key. So I will come to this why this premise of acidic versus alkaline is totally wrong. So this website I have already referenced because of how important copper is to our body and how copper regulates our pH. So alkaline versus acid is total scam. I will go through this. Nearly 95% of the population is copper deficient, iron poison. The majority of the population are alkaline blood types A and O and correlate to most prevalent pH of 7.40. This is what they are promoting. Acidic blood type B correlates to pH of 6.8, neutral blood pH of 7. Blood type AB is required to synthesize normal healthy proteins in the proper quantities. We need a neutral pH, guys, as it contains the required concentration of hydrogen to form the bonds. As I said, pH itself means potential of hydrogen, So hydrogen positive charge, hydrogen negative charge is what determines your blood pH, Iron accumulates due to ion uptake facilitated alkalisis, other materials and chemicals added to food and water supply. So they are adding lot of poison to make our body more alkaline and acidic. So blood pH setup schedule here. So I will come to this. The iron poison copper depleted population had a lifespan 45 years less than the healthy segment, and now has widened to over 50 years. So most of us are dying in around 70 years because of copper depletion and iron poisoning. So he comes to this the schedule of how they are terminating. From their own official literature, he points out a favorable pH is essential to the functioning of enzymes and other biochemical systems. The body's fluids are normally somewhat alkaline, the pH being between 7.35 and 7.45. A pH above 7.8 and below 6.8 is generally fatal. This is from them. Severe alkalosis often happens during last days or hours of life. So what he is saying is, when you are about to die, your body actually becomes more alkaline. So mortality rates have been reported as 45% in patients with a blood pH of 7.55, 80% when pH was greater than 7.65. Truth about blood pH. Blood pH is the indicator used to set up the extermination of population, a gradual change done in phases undetected by the population. The body requires a blood pH of 7 neutral pH to synthesize all normal healthy proteins in the required quantities. The established science indicates that a pH of 7.40 is what body requires to sustain life. This is a fraud that has been propagated for many generations. The blood pH is the main indicator of lifespan and disease state, as is indicative of copper deficiency and iron metals poisoning. So he makes a chart, percentage of hydrogen concentration to synthesize normal healthy proteins in proper quantities. This is nowhere is written. This information you will never ever find in any of this alkaline versus acidic. Why it is called pH to begin with, they will never tell you why they call this pH from the first place. What percentage of hydrogen concentration to synthesize normal healthy protein is the key. So when your pH potential of hydrogen is 7, you have 100% perfect concentration of hydrogen, so that your lifespan gets increased to 120 years. 7.39, your percentage of hydrogen, now it is almost 50%. Remember, this is algorithmic, exponential scale. So logarithmic scale is like 7 and 739 is in the scale of difference is 10 times, 100 times, 1000 times. So it is not like 7 and 7.39. That is a huge difference actually. So 7 to 7.40 is in the times of 10, you can say. So 40% is almost, it becomes half alkaline in the late 1800s. Now they are telling our pH is 7.0. The percentage of hydrogen concentration, what they tell healthy, is only 39.8, guys. That is why our lifespan has come down to 75 years, mostly for everybody. But now it is much more dangerous because we are mostly into alkaline state already. Our blood group is A and O. So 7.43, 7. We are borderline here, According to official science, alkalosis starts at this point. So most of us are in this range, set up by 2006, 7.54. 7.55 is 145% die sustaining this pH. So this is what set up 2012, 2013 final phase. So they are pushing us to eat more alkaline food so that we reach this state 7.54, 7.55, 7.65, 80% die sustaining this pH, 7.70, death within days or less upon reaching this pH, 7.80, death within hours of reaching this pH. So as you can see, 7.40 to 7. Is extremely dangerous, And in the reverse, it is becomes acidic, high concentration than what is required. So your percentage of hydrogen concentration reverses and increases. The lesser the pH, you go away from 7. So this is what the game they are telling. Just simple chart and saying that, but this goes a lot deeper, and I will come to it. Why acid is the key actually, not alkaline. Alkalinity is just a state. You need acid, guys. Without acid is the key that can free humanity. I will just give a simple example. DNA, what they tell us is the building block of humanity is nothing but an acid. Its full form, as you know, deoxyribonucleic acid. It is built by acid. Your body itself is built by acid. RNA, ribonucleic acid. DNA and RNA, it is protein. Protein is nothing but an acid. They tell you how much protein you need. It is nothing but an acid. Proteins are large biomolecules, macromolecules consisting of one or more long chains of amino acid residues. As you can see, My point is, there is lot of things we can discover if we come out of this acid versus alkaline state, guys. This is a scam in the sense that it is not as simple, but it is much more broader. We need to go deeper, because their gut is the key, and why gut bacteria makes acid, we need to go we need to know why is that case, so this is a total, the protein, carbohydrates, fats is not the actual science, but I have no other, choice. So I'm taking their own words and their own findings, which I believe is just a state of how body converts, So every state of function in your body, they are trying to make money. A nutrient is a component in food that an organism uses to survive and grow. As you are mostly aware of what nutrient, it is nothing but acid, they call macronutrients, macronutrient substance that provide energy. Carbohydrate, it's a sugar which goes inside, proteins, amino acid. Fat is a fatty acid. This is one of the biggest scams perpetuated on humanity, called fat, guys. We need to go deeper through fat, because fat is the biggest enemy of mankind, as they say, but fat is actually is the savior of mankind. So what is fat? They have also smartly, people with big size, they have termed them as fat, but actually fat is nothing to do with people with big size. That has everything to do with their gut bacteria being dead due to vaccination and antibiotics, etc. So they have smartly joined these two people being fat as fat, So fat is nothing but fatty acid, actually. So there is no such thing as fat individually. Everything is an acid in your body. Fat is one of the three main macronutrients along with carbohydrate and protein. Fats, also known as triglycerides, are esters of three fatty acid chains and alcohol glycerides. As you can see, they themselves are telling fats are nothing but fatty acid chain. And they are promoting this omega-3 fatty acid, etc., to milk billions. So I'm taking their own information. So what is this fatty acid? This is what the game begins, the real, freedom of humanity, guys. Fatty acids are important dietary sources of fuel for animals, because when metabolized, they yield large quantities of ATP. Many cell types use either glucose or fatty acid for this purpose. Long chain fatty acid cannot cross blood-brain barrier, so cannot be used as fuel by the cells of the central nervous system. However, free short chain fatty acid and medium chain fatty acids can cross blood-brain barrier. So as you can see, fatty acids are the only things that can cross blood-brain barrier. As now you know how important acids are to your body, and they perpetuated a scam like 100 years back, like all fats are good. Now they are slowly finding out, as you are already aware, that how coconut oil is very good because it has medium chain fatty acid, and and how short chain fatty acid and butyric acid is very good for you, especially butter. Butter is very key, guys. Butter, because they have completely destroyed butter. If you can good grass fed yellow butter, is very good for you. Short chain fatty acids are the fatty acid with aliphatic tails of 5 or more fewer carbons. Example, butyric acid. This is the key for humanity, not alkaline, not eating broccoli and because I will make a separate video on who actually we are and why we are using bacteria to fuel our life in this 3 dimension. We are not supposed to be in 3D. We can cross to 7th, 8th infinite dimension, but for this dimension we are taking the help of bacteria. So bacteria make butyric acid, guys. This is actually the key. You will be shocked how important butyric acid is for you. So I will come to this. I have done a lot of research, as they are themselves telling how important short chain fatty acid is. Out of that, this is what butyric acid is, what the with 4 carbon atoms is. And this the adenosine triphosphate could be the next big thing that they can make money with. So short chain fatty acid is what this adenosine triphosphate fuels our fat. I forgot the link. Here it is. Here, adenosine triphosphate is a nucleoside and is a small molecule used in cells as a coenzyme. It is often referred to as a molecular unit of currency of intracellular energy transfer. So ATP is what they're telling is used as energy source in our cells. So remember this, guys, what actually ATP is. This is very, very important. This is actually the next game they will play to milk millions, Adenosine triphosphate could be in your shelf next time you visit the doctor, and he will prescribe you for $19.99. So this is a very big thing, because this is the end stage of energy creation in your body, in your cells. And ADP is created by this butyric acid, guys. Butyric acid is utilized by mitochondria, particularly in colonocytes, and by the liver to generate adenosine triphosphate. As you can see, butyric acid is the key. Short chain fatty acids are the key, which powers your body itself. If you don't have butyric acid and all these acids, you will simply not be able to do anything in your life, because they themselves are telling this, And now we'll see what really is mitochondria. You might have heard a lot about mitochondria, your ancestry. Mitochondria is the key. That is why they are suppressing feminine energy. Because mitochondria is directly related to feminine energy, the earth energy itself, Here their mitochondria generates most of cell supply of adenosine triphosphate, used as a source for chemical energy. As you can see, adenosine triphosphate is inside your mitochondria, which fuels your body, guys. And here they are telling how important saturated fat is now. Dr. Marcola says this. Some of the doctors, we are already aware, they are non-towing to the mainstream line. So they are telling us the truth. Saturated fat, forbidden food, you should never stop eating. So he explains how saturated fat became demonized in 1950s, etc. So there was a Dr. Ansel Key who published a paper comparing saturated fat intake and heart disease mortality. His theory turned out to be flimsy, to say the least, but the misguided outsing of saturated fat has continued unabated ever since. Fortunately, the truth is starting to come out as medical scientists have begun to seriously question Key's findings. So here they have explained how there are different types of fats, short chain, medium chain, long chain, and trans fat. Trans fat is very good, but it is actually produced in the factories. I'd never ever take hydrogenated vegetable oils. It's actually cancerous. It's like poison, so that is just to make millions from the corporate mafia. So they have termed everything as bad. As I showed you, without fatty acid you won't even survive. So short chain fatty acids are very good. He goes on to explain how good the saturated fats are. Saturated, unsaturated is nothing but carbon bond atoms. So that is not a big deal to understand. So main thing is butyric acid, guys. So they keep telling us how your body should be alkaline and acidic, but it has nothing whatsoever to do with the things that power your body itself, which is butyric acid. What is butyric acid? Butyric acid benefit you need to know. So here Dr. Axe goes on to say how important weight loss, potential colorectal cancer treatment, IBS relief, Crohn disease treatment. So they have done a lot of research. Butyric acid, an ancient controller of metabolism, inflammation, and stress resistance. This guy, Stephen, he has a BS in biochemistry and PhD in neurobiology. So this guy knows what he is talking about, So they have done a lot of experiments on butyric acid on mice and how it has reversed, the high fat diet of mice and made their body healthy. So he goes on to explain when they fed mice with butyrate, how their body totally changed. Butyrate increased their energy expenditure by increasing body heat production and modestly increasing physical activity. Also massively increased the function of their mitochondria, the tiny power plants of the cell. Butyrate lowered their blood cholesterol by to approximately 25% and their triglycerides by nearly 50%. It lowered their fasting insulin by nearly 50% and increased their insulin sensitivity by nearly 300%. As you can see how butyrate helped the mice to maintain their body health. So this is what I wanted to stress further. Mitochondria is the key, guys. This is what I feel can free humanity, not alkaline, because this is the end where the thing happens, mitochondrial DNA, and this is directly connected to Gaia, Mother Earth, and feminine energy. That is why this is also a very good article by homeschooling doctor. She explains how incredible butyrate is important to all humans, and how new research are showing that butyrate is a super drug They even are calling, the doctor themselves are calling like a super drug. It prevents cancer, inflammation, blood sugar, hunger, cholesterol, immune system. Also, I will come to it by mitochondria. You can try kombucha. It has butyrate, guys, and also unripe bananas and potatoes. You can boil the potatoes, cool it down, and eat it. Not the GMO, normal. It has lot of good starch. Don't make starch separately and eat. Eat the whole potato, because we don't know how it will. If you eat the separate starch, so you should eat unripe banana, green bananas. It is very good to produce butyric acid in your body. Kombucha has butyric acid bacteria, so it is also very good. You must look into all this. They have lots of bacteria. It can cure lot of things, kombucha, because they are having lot of good gut bacteria. And coconut oil is also good for with lauric acid. That is why coconut oil works. Many of us in alternative community already know why coconut oil is incredible. So here doctor asks list 77 benefits of coconut oil. You can see how incredible it is. It is nothing but pure fat, guys, medium chain fatty acid. So mitochondria is the key, guys. What I wanted to relate and connect the dots. The cell's energy factories, the mitochondria manufacture ATP to fuel all our life's activities. I can say, and we know ATP is fueled through butyric acid. Butyric acid is created by your gut bacteria. So without this, nothing will happen, guys. Mitochondria, tiny organelles inside cell that are involved in releasing energy from food. So mitochondria is the final stage. What is mitochondrial DNA? This is what I believe can unlock our past. We always ask, who we are, where we come from, where we are going. The answer is in mitochondrial DNA, guys. This is what they are suppressing. And mitochondrial, as I said, mitochondria has some of the DNA which comes only through your mother. If you go through ancestry.com, if you try to find your lineage, they take the DNA from your mitochondria, guys, because mitochondrial DNA only pass through your mother. It never has anything to do with the father. So that is, and mitochondrial DNA never changes. And if you connect the dots, you will know why it is the case, and that is the reason they are suppressing feminine energy. I feel once you have enough energy, aka feminine energy, aka butyric acid, aka ATP. ATP is nothing but Gaia, the mother earth, guys. Adenosine triphosphate is what we need, which can be supplied through butyric acid. They are suppressing, matriarchy and pushing patriarchy is nothing but, suppressing mitochondrial DNA and activity. Mitochondrial DNA, it is a proven fact, guys. Inheritance patterns. I am taking all the examples from their own science. Mitochondrial DNA comes only from your mother, and that is where the energy is, mitochondria. That is what we call feminine energy, mother earth, because feminine energy is what is powering our humanity itself, and which they are suppressing it. So I believe to bring back the feminine energy, bring back the matriarchal society. We need to power up our mitochondrial DNA through ATP, which is through butyric acid and butter. Through eating good food, unripe. I believe unripe things are very good, resistant starch, etc. So when we go back, when this mitochondrial DNA fuels up, we can trace back our real ancestry, guys. I want to, once we charge ourselves, we'll go back in time. Not just where you are from in Europe or Asia, but really back in time. Then you will know your higher self, is what I believe will happen. And we are just covering this, our human body. I have not covered this higher self. So imagine what happens when these two incredible beings unite, So this might, when you power up your body, it will automatically join from your higher self. What we are lacking is this energy, guys, the feminine energy, They are suppressing the feminine energy for this reason. It is nothing but they are suppressing our mitochondrial energy, so that we never join with the higher self. So yeah, guys, I will explain more about this higher self and all butyric acid benefits and how it is incredible and how it is the key to humanity's freedom. Thanks.